Hello, I'm Brian Alexander. Welcome to part 2 of Why Did I Get Sick? As I talked about in the previous video, the choices we make and the beliefs that result from them have a strong impact on our life and our health. We're quite often the victim of these choices, but we don't have to be. Yet it is only by understanding our beliefs, where they come from, and how they are formed, that we can take charge of our life and our health. There are many stages we go through as we grow and develop. The first stage starts just before we are born and lasts until about age 6. We call this the imprint period. Dr. Konrad Lorenz pioneered the study of imprints in his work with ducks. His question was, how do newly hatched ducks know their mother? What he discovered was they know their mother through movement. As the mother walks back and forth in front of the ducks immediately after they are hatched, they become imprinted to her. By removing the mother and walking back and forth in front of the new hatchlings himself, Dr. Lorenz became the mother. And even after the real mother was reintroduced, a large percentage of the ducks stayed imprinted to him. He discovered that ducks could be imprinted to almost anything, even a beach ball. Ducks imprinted to something other than their real mother, however, developed a problem upon maturing. Have you ever seen a duck try to mate with a beach ball? Has anybody ever said to you, you're becoming just like your mother or just like your father? These are the imprints kicking in. During the first 6 years of life, there is no separation between the conscious and the unconscious mind. Children operate primarily in the unconscious. During the first 2 years, a child's brain waves operate in the delta state, which for an adult would be like being asleep or unconscious. From ages 2 to 6, a child's brain waves operate in the theta state, which for an adult would be like being in a hypnotic trance. During this period, children are highly programmable. They don't have the ability to discern between good and bad information. A child cannot generalize, and so everything is taken as being truthful and accurate. It is during this period that the seeds for our later behaviors form. This is why 60% of boys who are abused grow up to become abusers, and 60% of girls who are abused grow up to marry into an abusive relationship. It is surprising the impact that childhood experiences can have on our life. I once worked with a 32-year-old man. He came to me with a very strange problem. He developed a compulsion for checking his pulse. He continuously had his fingers on his wrist or on his neck, checking to see if his heart was still beating. He was regularly going in for checkups, and when the doctor said he was fine, he'd go find another doctor. And the problem was starting to magnify. When I traced the problem back to its root cause, we came up with a specific memory of an event that happened when he was 2 years old. At that time, he just survived a serious bout of spinal meningitis, which was usually fatal at that age. Now, he knew he had had meningitis, having been told when he grew up, but he had no conscious recollection of this specific event. The memory that came up was one of his mother crying, while the doctor was telling her that her son probably wouldn't live past his 30th birthday. While his 2-year-old brain probably wouldn't be able to understand these words, the fact that they made his mother so emotional had a strong impact on his unconscious mind. After re-imprinting the experience, the problem went away, but this shows us just how powerful imprints can be. When I do consulting with people, quite often we're dealing with issues that stem from the imprinting period. Imprints don't happen only when we are young. Any major life experience around which we build new beliefs can be an imprinting experience. A traumatic experience, like a divorce or a loss of a loved one or even a major accident, can be an imprinting experience. Imprints that happen later in life are often life-changing experiences. Our beliefs and values determine who we are as a person and how we will interact in the world. It is only by understanding our limiting beliefs that we can truly begin to confront the issues that face us. I started out by saying that everything can be changed. The first step is to realize that you have a choice and that you can change. Next comes desire. You have to want to change. Not everybody wants to change. Many people are happy being the way they are. It's how they identify themselves. If you're happy being the way you are, you need go no further. But if you're faced with a debilitating disease or some other problem in your life, you're only going to get beyond it by deciding you want to change. The next step comes the doing. And the doing's not necessarily easy, but it is possible, and with a little help, almost anything can be achieved. We as a species still have a lot to learn about the mind-body system and what's possible within it. Our body has a tremendous ability to heal itself if we only get out of the way and let it do its job. Quite often we don't heal because we have a limiting belief that keeps us locked into our unhealthy state. In that case, it's only by recognizing these beliefs that we can begin the healing process. Like Mr. Wright, his body was quite willing to heal itself, The only thing standing in the way of perfect health was his own faulty beliefs. If you are faced with a major health issue or some other problem in your life, stop for a moment and ask yourself a couple of questions. What do I get out of having this problem, and what stops me from letting it go? These two questions are the first step in moving you forward into a new life, but they're not the only questions that are important. Find somebody who can help you to explore your limiting beliefs and to create change in your world. A healthy and problem-free life is yours if you're willing to do what's needed to achieve it. This is not meant to undermine your medical doctor. Traditional medicine is still important, but when combined with activating your body's own natural healing ability, it becomes even more effective. Thank you for listening. I wish you all a healthy and problem-free life.